Teen Beach 2. Oh. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess. I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to be talking about Teen Beach 2. Teen Beach 2 is a 2015 Disney Channel original movie about Brady and Mac having to deal with their own relationship problems while also trying to get the cast of West Side Story back into their movie because they end up in the real world. It is directed by Jeffrey Hornaday, cinematography by Mark Irwin, editing by David Finfer, music by David Lawrence, and it's written by Billy and Matt Eddy. The film stars Ross Lynch as Brady, Maia Mitchell as Mackenzie, Gracie Gillam as Layla, and Garrett Clayton as Tanner. This was the first DCOM to have a sequel in 5 years since Camp Rock 2. It also is marked to have, continued right where the first one left off when they, the West Side Story cast wash up on the beach and they're, looking at a cell phone of someone's. But that's not true. This is very retconned. And then it received middle-of-the-road reviews, a lot of people saying it felt like there was, they were just trying to shove plot between each song to get to the next song. The lighting in the dance scene was honestly so impressive. I was, genuinely shook. It's so unlike the rest of the film. But it is, a beautiful, soft, dark lighting. There's great highlight. I couldn't get over it. I was having a time with the lighting in the dance scene. It was very beautiful. And then the rest of the movie looks good. I have no complaints whatsoever. The quality is definitely getting better and better. The music was fine. It was nothing as good or as standout as the first one, I'd say. The slow song that Ross Lynch sings, the On My Own song, I know people really like that. The tune of it is fine. But the Without You, I'm All Alone, yeah, that's normally how that works. Yeah, I don't know. And why Brady all of a sudden has a recording studio? That's not set up in the first one. And then also, my favorite scene was actually probably when Cheech and Sea-Cat, so Jordan Fisher and the woman who plays Cheech, did Fallin' For Ya instead of Layla. That was genuinely the funniest and most entertained I was in this movie. That was a really great sequence. When he pulls the microphone cord out of the microphone, I laughed out loud. I thought it was so funny. So I really enjoyed that sequence, but Fallin' For Ya is technically a song from the first one. So what do you know? I'm gonna be so for real. I really think they fumbled the bag in this movie. I think they took everything that made all of these characters so lovable and refreshing in the first one and completely tanked it and ruined it in this one. Genuinely, what they do to Brady and Mac is so disappointing. Also, I know they don't give a specific time frame of how long Brady and Mac have been together in the first one, but because they start together, it feels very established. Brady and Mac, it sounds like they've been together a long time. He is devastated that she's going to be leaving. And don't get me wrong, I know they're in high school and a lot of, tropes and stereotypes about high school is that after a week people can be saying they love each other and they don't want to be apart and this, that, and the other, and I get that. But they set this kind of expectation with Brady and Mac in the first one that is really honestly very healthy, and that's what made it so refreshing. Is they were very communicative and he was very open about no, I want you, I don't want this to end. Where if they were going more high school, it would have been he was well, fine, we can break up. You know what I mean? It was so refreshing and honest that in the first one, I genuinely would have believed if they'd been together for a year plus in school and stuff. And then in the opening of this movie, they are celebrating their 3-month anniversary and have only been together for that summer. At no point in the first movie do they mention they've only been together a teensy tiny little bit. And it also sounded like they were already close to the end of summer. And I get this one is supposed to be pretty soon after the events of the first one, if not the next day or whatever. First one, it just feels so established. The way she knows about his obsession with West Side Story and the way he's involved with her grandfather and like how they, I don't know. I really feel like the whole 3-month anniversary, how are we going to do it at school together, is a huge retcon, even though nothing was like actually established in the first one. Just to get that like conflict of like, oh, he's a laid back surfer dude, and oh, she's a straight A like college driven student. Also, she gives up the prep school because she doesn't want to fully go that route and wants to embrace her surfing and like ocean love. But then as soon as she's in school, she's college focused and honors focused. Not saying she can't be, but like it almost feels like she didn't learn the lesson she learned in the first one. So it feels a bit retcon-y there. And then obviously they retcon the fact that the whole cast show up at first. They wait for this whole necklace magic moment instead of the whole cast just following them through the storm or whatever it is. Which is another retcon moment. And I just feel like the 3 months completely makes like some of the story a bit tacky and not have enough weight. Like, don't get me wrong, 3 months is a significant amount of time, especially for a teenager. And so that's that's a little bit decent of a chunk of time. A lot of people, like, very commonly by the 3rd month will say I love you and develop that bond and everything. So, like, I'm not trying to negate that could be a meaningful relationship and a meaningful amount of time, especially for high schoolers who feel, you know, everything so much higher and deeper and, like, all that kind of stuff. But it just, like, I don't know how to explain this. It just feels like it immediately almost erases everything that happened in the first movie, except for Mac and Layla both, like, inspiring each other. That's, like, the only thing I feel they kept from the first movie. And though then cue Layla and Tanner coming to the real world and Layla being obsessed and, like, wanting to learn and do this, and it's so beautiful, to then turn around and be like, no, Layla has to go back to her movie world or everyone will disappear and die and the movie will cease to exist, is so cruel. Like, I wish they would have gone the route where she realizes maybe she doesn't want to be in the real world or something, because, like, to make her fall in love with the real world and becoming her own person and being happy and then making her turn around and go back is so mean. And then you get into, like, what even is the lore here? Like, when Mac and Brady went into the movie, they were going to disappear because they didn't belong in the movie and they'd cease to exist. When Tanner and Layla came to the real world, everyone in their movie was ceasing to exist because the main characters weren't there. Okay, where Mac and Brady get this whole idea that if Wet Side Story ceases to exist, they'll forget each other and forget they've ever met, is insane to me. That is absolutely banana bonkers. How these worlds affect each other is absolutely insane. And then also, what a terrible take. What a terrible way to end this movie. Not only did you retcon it and make it a little bit tacky or a little bit gross, a little bit like, oh, okay, now they of course have problems. He's jealous of this. He's lying to her. She, like, looks down on him because he's not as smart or whatever it might be, you know, this, that, or the other. And then they have to, no matter what, they have to help each other to get Tanner and Layla back, but Tanner and Layla, like, the real world, and, like, and then at the end, to make it so Brady and Mac do actually forget they've ever met, ever been in a relationship, and they meet over the movie because Layla changed the movie to be, like, her own movie, so then they never met because it's not West Side Story anymore, and now they meet differently. Absolute garbage. Atrocious. I'm not, like, horrifically mad because, like, I don't care. But, like, what a bad choice. What a terrible choice. This first movie, I cannot stress this enough, how refreshing it was to have a Disney relationship already established. They already are together. You don't have to do this will they, won't they. I hope they tell each other they are already together. To my witnessing, seemingly a very deep relationship established, right? And the whole movie, Brady is expressing, I want to be with you. We can survive whatever. Like, I like you. I don't like this. I want this. I want that. So refreshing. And the only reason she's breaking up with him is because she thinks she's going to go to a prep school because it's what her dead mom wanted. And, like, this, that, and the other. And she has to learn to do what she wants through being sucked into this movie or whatever. So refreshing. Such a beautiful way to portray another kind of relationship for people to watch, only to put it through the stereotypical ringer in the second one, and then end it where they didn't know each other and they have to re-meet. They really fumbled the bag. This movie, no. There's a reason there's not a Teen Beach 3. I know it's because Ross Lynch's contract was up and he was like, I'm out of here. But, like, there's definitely not a Teen Beach 3 because this movie tanked. Like, or I don't know if it, like, actually tanked, but, like, to me it tanks. I'm like, what's the freaking point then? Like, anyway, that's... I'm obviously passionate about this. There were multiple moments, however, that made me laugh out loud, genuinely. When he said, without you, I'm all alone, that I was like, yeah? And I started laughing because of, like, a stupid lyric. But then Tanner killed me in this movie. In the first one, Tanner kind of annoyed me. I'm like, I don't get it, like, whatever. But in this one, Tanner, like, stole the show. He was killing me. He's like, you need confidence. K-O-N, fidence. K-O-N, fidence. That took me all the way out. I thought that was so funny. And then also, I found out, so there's a line where he says, chicken in the shape of a nugget, or like whatever. And Aubrey and I were both like, no way. When were chicken nuggets invented? Turns out chicken nuggets were invented in 1963, which is a year after West Side Story was out, so they wouldn't know about a chicken nugget, which is insane. Which means my mom and my dad and all of my parents are older. Well, not all of my parents. My stepmom is definitely younger than a chicken nugget. But the rest of my parents are older than a chicken nugget. That is crazy. That's actually insane. And then Layla and Tanner are very queer-coded. Layla and Mac seem very much like they should be a thing, and then Tanner is just out here. You know, and so Disney's out here queer coding people now, and not now. Oh, they've done that for a handful of times. And they're too chicken to do it. Aubrey and I kept being like, why can't the four of them just be together? Polyamory. Heck yeah. Favorite part is probably when Brady and Mac, like, make up in his, like, surfboard workshop chill out space. When she realizes this is what he's been working on, he thought she'd think it was dumb, and this, that, and the other. Like, that scene was great. My least favorite part? The end, probably. Like, just how, way to make all of it not worth it. Also, with them never meeting, like, why would she then have not gone to this prep school? If they never met, he and her would have never gone into West Side Story. She would have never then made the choice to not go to this prep school, so then she would have gone to the prep school. So what the hell is she doing there? Like, Anyway, watch again, no. Recommend, no. Don't. Just, it's not worth it. Yeah, that's everything. My biggest complaint, as per usual, more Jordan Fisher. I loved that scene between him and Cheech. I wish there was more of that. That was really funny, a really great scene. And Jordan Fisher can sing like no other. So, we do need Jordan Fisher lead moment in Disney. He was in Turning Red. He was a member of Four Town. And does a great job, by the way. But I think we need a Jordan Fisher leading moment. He's a very good singer. Yeah. That's it. That's all I got. It's just, I wish it were not this. That's it. That's all I got. My final rating is 5 surfboards, I guess, out of 10. Our total movie honest. Parent death toll and cry count are still the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on all socials. You'll find out what movie I'm watching when. I put out videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. Got a tier starting at just $1. You get every video a week early. Tiers above that, you get daily trivia, monthly postcards, bonus content, merch, and all that good stuff. Go check it out. My merch, actually, speaking of. Go check it out. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe, but don't in charge of your life. You are studio, and don't be... There's no real villain in this, is there? Don't be the people that wrote this movie about it. That's all she wrote.